everyone. This is episode 3 of Press Any Button. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Eric.
Hey, we're the hosts of this wonderful podcast where we talk about video games. So, we pick a game every episode. So what's this episode about, Eric?
So this episode is about Undertale.
Ooh, spoiler alert. If you plan on playing this game, we may say some stuff. So, just spoiler alert.
Okay, Undertale was created by Toby Fox, who made almost all aspects of the game himself, including the code, music, and art. He did have help from his friend Timmy Chang, who helped him with some additional art as well.
Like, what kind of art did he help with? Like the background or just certain characters?
That's a great question. I think some of the battle animations, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so let's go back to June 25th, 2013. Toby Fox.
So far back.
Yeah, I know, 2013. What were you doing in 2013?
Oh, man. 2013? Oh, that was like our 1 year, like our anniversary, I guess.
Okay, so while we were busy having our 1 year anniversary,
yeah,
Toby Fox was launching a Kickstarter campaign for his game with a goal to raise a whopping $5,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that's that's not a light amount, but also, I mean, how much does it cost to make, like, I don't know, Overwatch or something? Probably millions,
yeah,
right?
Way more than $5,000. Okay, so how much do you think Toby Fox raised of that $5,000?
$5,000.
It's higher.
Oh, okay. So I got it right. He at least did raise $5,000.
Sure, yeah.
Let's say $15,000.
He raised over.
Bob.
He raised over $50,000.
50,000?
Yeah, in the course of 1 month.
Wow, 1 month.
Yep.
Wow, gamers don't play. That's a lot of money. I had a friend that was just raising $3,000 for a short film that he wanted to make, and it took over a month for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, his
that's crazy.
Yeah, his Kickstarter went viral and it did pretty well. So you have to keep in mind, Toby Fox wasn't a professional game maker before Undertale. He was literally just some guy.
He just was doing it for fun, like on the side, just to get better at like creating stuff on the computer.
I'll say prior to his development of the game, he didn't really have a ton of experience, but he had made some RPGs in RPG Maker with his 3 brothers. Most were unfinished. And he did make a few Earthbound ROM hacks in high school. So these are like fan games.
Is Earthbound a game?
Yeah, it's a SNES game.
Okay.
It's a very good one.
Cool.
So yeah, he did have maybe a little bit of experience, but mostly just making stuff himself with his friends and his brothers.
Just for fun, not working. He never worked for like a video game developing company or anything like that.
Correct. As far as I could tell.
That's kind of nuts. Do you know why his Kickstarter went viral? Are you going to talk about that?
I think no, I'm not entirely sure.
If no one really knows who he is, he's not like a well-known game developer or anything like that. I wonder what made it pick up so much traction to earn, what, like 20 times? No. The amount that he was asking for?
10 times, yeah.
10 times? Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very good question. It was a featured Kickstarter, and it did make, I think, several different video game news sites. I think it was just a good idea, a good concept.
It's pretty cool.
I think a lot of people bought into it.
Very cool.
Okay, so in the Kickstarter, Toby described Undertale as a traditional role-playing game where no one has to get hurt.
Man, I wish I would have read that tagline before I played it.
So my question to you, Nikki, is did you hurt anyone?
I hurt everyone. I literally killed every single thing that I came across because I did not realize that there was another option. until a little bit later when I accidentally was reading about the game. And I heard or read an article where Toby was talking about how he wanted to create a game where you did not have to use any violence at all to beat it. And then also, well, I don't want to go too far into the gameplay, but you know.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I hit genocide mode, which is not fun. You know, people, they get mad at you, you know, when you kill everyone. And it's so different from other games because you're just kind of trained to like kill everything. And then this one, you don't have to. I mean, you can, I guess, like I did. But then there's consequences, okay, people? There's consequences.
Well, that did answer my second question. Did you know you had to hurt? You didn't have to hurt anyone. And then my third question is, should I have told you? Because I did not tell you.
No, it's kind of fun to just learn things on my own, discover the game on my own, and it was kind of fun once you told me that I did probably hit the genocide mode, because then that was kind of fun, and I don't think I would have done that on my own if I would have known that ahead of time.
Yeah, I also didn't know going into the game that you could not hurt anybody or kill anybody. So I also, my first run through, I killed quite a few people. I didn't know I had the option not to kill. But yeah, it's part of the fun. Part of the fun of learning it.
Part of what makes the game unique.
Yeah.
One of many things.
The defensive segment within the battle system was inspired by the Mario and Luigi series, as well as bullet hell shooters such as Toho Project series, and I think there's some other ones. But did you have any experience with bullet hell shooters?
Nope, none at all. And so you're talking about the screen where, you know, you run into someone that you can interact with. And so you have the animation or the picture of them, and then the interaction between you and the character, right? And then it can either be, if you're fighting, it's the line that's moving across, and you have to line it up with a certain line in the middle to hit, or talk, or I guess flee, or whatever else you wanted to do.
Yeah, I was talking more just when an enemy is specifically attacking you, and you know the screen is just full of like different projectiles and objects that you have to dodge. That's kind of would be described as kind of like a bullet hell, where it's just like so much stuff coming out.
Oh, okay. You. Gotcha. I know what you're talking about now. So
okay.
They're not puzzles per se, but it's kind of like what you do to protect yourself from getting hit. So you have to figure out the best way to dodge. Either dodge, well, in this game it's like dodge an arrow, or
a bunch of little happy friendliness pellets.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different things, I guess, depending on who you're interacting with.
So the part of the battle system in which you can engage in dialogue with monsters to avoid conflict was inspired by Shin Megami Tensei games. Have you heard of that?
No. Is that a person?
They're a type of like RPGs.
Oh, no, definitely not.
What about Persona?
Okay, I've heard of that game. I've never played it before.
Yeah, the Shin Megami Tensei series kind of Persona spun off of that series. But yeah, I think I remember playing one of those games, and they were pretty hard games. But I do remember the fact that you could engage in dialogue with all the different demons and stuff, and most of which you still had to fight. I don't think there was the option to get around every single fight in the game like there is in this game.
So it's like, get to know these characters and then kill them.
Yeah.
No making friends in this video game.
Okay, so Toby used a piece of software called Game Maker Studio to make Undertale. And I think I've actually messed around with it. I think me and Michael actually did a quick few games in college.
Oh, shout out to Michael.
I think I remember.
Is this when you guys made Drink Man?
We didn't make Drink Man. We stole it and then we re-graphics it. We made new graphics for it.
Well, you modded it, I guess?
Yeah, that'd be fair.
Yeah, so you wouldn't use that to mod a game? that program?
No. Michael made a couple little short games. Yeah, I never really had much patience to make a game.
Too tedious?
Yeah. Do you think you'd have the patience to make a game?
If it was a very simple game, maybe. But there's a reason people go to school to learn how to make video games. It's something you definitely have to put a lot of hours into learning how to do. And not only that, you have to be a good artist as well.
Undertale was officially released on September 15th, 2015 for Windows and OS X. A little over 2 years after Toby had launched his Kickstarter campaign. So that's a pretty long development time, 2 years. Yeah, over 2 years.
Yeah, but considering he did everything basically on his own with the help of his one friend, 2 years doesn't seem that bad. Plus, we'd rather have quality, right?
True.
Over some rushed game that was really crappy. We saw how that played out for E.T. It did not go well, okay? And even games that did take a long time to develop and still came out and weren't great, I think people would have rather just waited. Looking at you, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I heard it was a bit buggy, but for the people, I think maybe PC or something, it's not as bad. But I don't know. I haven't played it yet. So by the end of 2015, Undertale had sold over 500,000 copies and was one of the best-selling games on Steam.
And that is like what you said by the end of 2015?
Yeah, so he released it in September 15th, 2015. So yeah, so by the end of the year, the game had kind of taken off.
Yeah, that's crazy. So he got how much for the Kickstarter? You said 50,000?
Yeah.
Plus.
But that doesn't include, like, he was also after the Kickstarter campaign ended after a month. I think he was still getting pre-orders and stuff for the game. They just weren't officially part of the Kickstarter campaign.
Okay.
Anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's amazing for him. It's probably, a lot of people's dream to just have their side passion project take off and become something they can do full time.
Yeah.
And know that people love it and enjoy it. It made a difference.
So it was later ported to PS4 in August of 2017 and Switch in September of 2018, which is how we played it. So that was most of my history section. I do have some interesting character tidbits, if you'd like to hear.
Oh, I love tidbits.
So the character Toriel, who you meet at the very beginning of the game.
Yes,
so
I
it's
remember.
like,
He's like the first character, right?
Yeah, so her name Toriel, like tutorial. So, and she's like literally like holding your hand at the very beginning of the game. But
that's sneaky because I usually skip the tutorials, but they put it in there.
Yeah, it was done in a fun way. And Toby Fox, he had a complaint about RPGs where the kind of the mom character, most video games don't have a very good mom character. In Pokemon, you have like 2 lines of dialogue with your mom and she, you go out into the world. But he really wanted to have like kind of a motherly character. And that's Toriel.
Okay. I don't think I've played any games with a mom.
Yeah, they're not usually the focus of the game.
At all.
So I thought that was interesting. The skeleton Sans, his typeface is Comic Sans, if you noticed. And the skeleton Papyrus, his interface, his typeface is Papyrus.
Yeah. Actually, I did notice that because I'm into graphic design and I have, my degree is in advertising, which was a lot of graphic design. And so I love fonts. And so I think that's a cool little nerdy Easter egg type thing that he threw in there. Either that or he was just like, oh, I need a name. I have Microsoft Word open. What's the 58th font? Oh, Papyrus. I love the skeleton characters.
Yeah, they're really fun. So there are 3 main endings to this game. There's the neutral ending. This is you just play the game normal. There's the true pacifist ending where you don't kill a single monster. And then there's the genocide ending where you literally kill everything. And you have to generate the genocide kind of stuff like every single area. And I think you were able to do it in one area on accident.
Yes, because from the beginning of the game until about the middle of the game, I think, from what you've told me, because I haven't beat the game yet. But yes, I was literally killing every single thing I interacted with if I could kill it.
Yeah,
which was most of the characters.
Yeah, so how you activate the genocide mode is if you're in an area and you kill all the monsters to the point where they just stop showing up. So basically,
it's kind of sad too, because then it's like, oh man, everyone's afraid of me.
Yeah,
and I didn't even realize that I could be nice.
And that will affect like the town areas. Like everyone will hide from you. If you've done it in the Snowden area, the end person will be hiding and you won't even be able to talk to them.
Oh, they're just like so afraid of you. They just hide.
But the pacifist is like, I played the neutral ending and the pacifist ending. I really like the pacifist because if you like the story, like there's a lot more. It's kind of like the more passive you go, the more kind of into the story you get. So like the genocide, it almost subtracts all the story out because everyone's hiding from you. But if you play true pacifist, you become best friends with everybody and you get more story.
Aw, sounds lovely.
Yeah.
I did notice though once you told me that I probably hit genocide mode, I felt bad. And I also learned that I didn't have to kill everything. So I tried to not kill anything else after that. But I noticed that it is harder to get out of a interaction or like, it's not really a fight, so I'm going to call it an interaction, I guess. But you can't really get out of it as easily as just fighting. It's like it took longer almost to like figure out how to end it without fighting. So it was like you had to figure out.
Yeah, it's almost a bit like a puzzle. Each boss fight, each enemy encounter. Sometimes it's as simple as like just a simple dialogue interaction with the enemy, and that's all you got to do, and then you can spare them. But other times it's like you have to trigger this and trigger that, and then get into a dialogue, and then you can spare them, and then So it's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of tough actually to figure out how to spare each enemy in the game.
Yeah, it is pretty tough.
I think that wraps up my past section.
So I learned a lot about the game. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
And when I started playing it, I actually thought that it was a lot older than 2015. I thought this was a game that like came out on SNES or something.
Yeah, it does look like an SNES game for sure. Well, Toby Fox he took a lot of inspiration from Earthbound. And if you played Earthbound, the graphics are very similar to that style.
So what is some of your favorite stuff about this game? I have a feeling we're going to go on about this for a while because we both really like this game.
Yeah, so my favorite part about this game, I think, are the characters. The characters are very memorable, very funny. They kind of grow on you the more you interact with them and the more you get from them.
Yeah, that's true. And then I got a little sad once I figured out I didn't really have to kill everyone because some of the characters, especially like the Skeleton Brothers, they were really cool and I would have liked them to actually have been my friends.
So what else did you like about the game?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. This is like one of the funniest games I've ever played. Just reading the dialogue from the characters, just everything from when you check out something in a room, it'll just have funny copy, I guess. I don't know what you call it if it's not dialogue, but when you're looking at like the paintings on the wall, it'll say something funny or just, I don't know. There's a lot of funny things about this game, especially the character dialogue though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's all the little things. It's the individual, sometimes just the individual like minion dialogue is funny in itself. They'll just say something weird or unexpected. And it's just like all the little tidbits like that. You can tell that a lot of love was put into this game. Just going over just little minor details is, yeah, you don't even see that in bigger budget games, I feel like.
Yeah, and the sense of humor, it's very quirky, very nerdy, very, I would say, dry in a way. You know, it's not like super obvious all the time, but I know I was just cracking up while I was playing it, and I heard you playing it, and you'd just be laughing out loud, and it's just very, very funny. And I guess Toby Fox just has the same kind of sense of humor as that we do.
Yeah, very funny.
I thought it had a good mix of puzzles and interactions and just exploration. It's like very balanced game.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't overload you with too many items and stuff too, which I appreciate. In fact, you only have a limited amount of storage. It's almost minimalist in a way, which is nice compared to modern games where they just throw so much stuff at you, especially modern RPGs, where it's just so many items and just so many different uses and stuff out of the different items. It can get overwhelming quick, and I like the simplicity.
True. And even the items in this game are really funny too. Like, well, you have like dog salad as one of the things you can eat that gets you HP in a fight, or
Oh, you're talking about
monster candy. Even the items you have are funny, and so just the attention to detail was really good in this game. Toby really thought of everything.
yeah. Did you like the music?
Yeah, I thought the music was good. I think it's pretty crazy that he did the music and everything else too, because normally, I mean, that's a totally different skill set of talent, you know? Music, I mean, I know a lot of people that are into music and they could probably also develop a video game, but it's just like, man, is there anything this guy can't do?
Yeah, I mean, so many of my friends are in high school and college were definitely into this stuff. I don't think any of them went as far as making a really good game, but I do have a bunch of friends who are into composing music, into making video games and graphics and RPGs and all that stuff. So it's nice to see a story where it all works out.
I also think it's really cool that you can get through this game without hurting anything, or fighting anyone or any of the characters. You know, that really makes the game unique, because I can't think of any other games really, except maybe like Fable or something, where you can go through the whole game without any violence.
One of the things that he did not want from traditional RPGs were grinding and fetch quests. Do you know what those are?
Okay, I know what a fetch quest is. That's where you meet a character and they're like, oh, my grandma needs these leaves for her medicine. Will you bring me 18 mint leaves? And then
Yeah.
you go out to the forest and you collect 18 mint leaves and bring it back, and then you get like a trophy or something, or they'll give you something to help you carry on in your quest. But I don't know what a grind is.
So grinding and
Grinding? I
yeah,
don't know.
grinding and
Unless you're
traditional
talking about like
RPGs.
Tony Hawk, you know, grinding those rails.
I am not talking about Tony Hawk when it comes to grinding. So in traditional RPGs, grinding is basically where you're trying to get your characters level up, level higher to make the fights easier. So you would,
Okay,
you
so
would basically just walk around an area and trigger minion fights to get your experience and level up, so you could make fighting the boss easier or other enemies easier, or just to make your experience easier.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I've never heard that term, but yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. In this game, yeah, you don't have that.
So, Nikki, did you have anything for the con section?
I have a couple of things.
Okay.
One was there was definitely a learning curve for me as a new gamer. You're kind of trained to just kill everything. And so I think in a way, there definitely was, like I said, a learning curve where I had to figure out okay, this is a different kind of game and I have different options, and I needed to kind of just like think of how I was going to play it in a different way.
So what else you got?
I got game over a lot. I guess that's a con. No, I don't expect any game to be easy, and I've died in almost every game I've played, so it's expected. But yeah, I still haven't beat the game. I've gotten game over about 3 or 4 times now. I'm working on it. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of cons. This game was really fun, really creative, really funny. Just overall good time.
Yeah, I didn't have any cons. I really liked this game a lot. I couldn't think of anything really negative to say about it. You can say it's minimalist, simple, but those are kind of things that are positives about it, I think. But yeah, it's a very good game. What about strategy? Do you have any strategy you use to help you get through it?
I wish I would have had more strategy going in. If this was a game I would have bought, I probably would have known that you didn't just have to kill everything, But since this was a game that you had already downloaded and it was one that you knew about,
Yeah.
I didn't really pick up on the fact that you could have multiple different strategies other than just killing everything. So I kind of wish, if I do start the game over again, I would like to do a mix of good and bad, keep it a little more balanced and try it that way. But there's a lot of different ways you can go about strategy in this game, I think.
Yeah, the good thing is it's a very short game, so it's not difficult at all to go back and start it over because you really don't, it's like 4 or 5, 6 hours, something like that. It's really not long at all. It does have that replayability if you do want to try it. Yeah, so there's the neutral route, the pacifist route, and the genocide route. I played through the neutral and the pacifist, and I was in the middle of the genocide one, but I didn't like it quite as much as the other routes.
You feel bad, don't you?
Yeah, you feel bad, and then like no one wants to talk to you or say anything to you.
Yeah, everyone's super afraid of you.
So,
I mean, for good reason, but still, it's like,
yeah.
oh man, guys, I'm just here to play.
It kind of sucks some of what's really fun about the game out of it, which is the humor and the dialogue and the fun characters, because you kill them all. Yeah.
So did you have a strategy when you started playing it for the first time?
Nope, I just started playing it. I didn't know anything about it.
Did you at least know that you didn't have to kill everything?
Nope, I found that out way later.
So even when you bought it, you didn't know that?
Nope, yeah, no idea.
All right. So you didn't really have a strategy until the second time you played?
Yeah, so I didn't, the second time I played, I wanted to get the pacifist ending, so I wanted to get through the game without killing anyone. Because I enjoyed the first run, and I just wanted to see how it was different, and it was pretty different. Like the entire game plays very differently doing pacifist versus just doing neutral.
I'm sure it's even more different from genocide.
Yes.
So I kind of want to go back and play it in the passive mode or whatever.
Yeah. Cool. So that's about all I had for the present section.
Cool.
So Toby Fox released the first chapter of Deltarune on October 31st, 2018 for Windows Mac operating system for free.
And you can get that on Steam? Or where did you get the demo from?
Yeah, I got it on Switch, but yeah, you can get it.
I know it's on the website, the Undertale.com.
Yeah, I think it's probably on the PlayStation Store too. But yeah, so he's working on a new game called Deltarune, which he's going to release chapter by chapter, and then at the end he's going to come back and compile it into one game. I don't know if each chapter is going to be free. The first chapter was free. I think he's getting pretty close on the second chapter, but I'm not entirely sure. But I know the scope of Deltarune is supposed to be a little bit broader than Undertale. That and Deltarune is not, I guess it's not a direct sequel to Undertale, although it feels a lot like a sequel. in a lot of ways. Maybe it's because all the Undertale characters are in there, but like recast as different characters, or maybe it's because in the very like intro it asks you if you played Undertale first and that you need to play Undertale first. So it feels kind of like a sequel, but I know it's not supposed to be a sequel, so I don't know.
Yeah. I haven't played it, but I saw you playing it. It definitely looks very similar, but I guess because the same guy made it. But from what I've read, he said it's not even related at all.
Yeah, it's its own story, I think.
Yeah, it's its own separate thing. So another thing that I found is that Toby Fox continues to create Undertale-related content, such as Undertale Winter Dialogue, which was supposed to be released as a part of a Undertale alarm clock app.
What?
But unfortunately, it got canceled and the app never ended up being made.
So
but
he was making an alarm clock?
Yeah, it was an Undertale alarm clock app. And so he was creating dialogue. I mean, that sounds awesome. Having an alarm clock with funny dialogue like what you would see in Undertale, that sounds kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of like that smart-ass weather app, where you look at it and it's like, hot as balls or whatever.
I have no idea.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Yeah, there's this weather app and it's just sarcastic. So when you check the weather, it'll just, like in Georgia, it'll be like, oh, the devil's sweating it up, or I don't know. That's not funny, but it'll just say something really funny, something super sarcastic about the weather that instead of just saying, oh, high of 90. So another thing I found out is that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has a customizable Mii costume that you can get of Sans.
Oh, nice.
So that is, I don't know, I guess not really has to do with the game, but hey, if you are a fan of the game, you can play as Sans for Super Smash Bros.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Other than that, I couldn't really find much else going on with Undertale. It doesn't look like there's going to be a sequel anytime soon. If there is going to be a sequel, from what I read, it is kind of its own wrapped up story.
Yeah,
and
it feels...
Toby doesn't really sound like he's too interested in making any kind of sequel.
Yeah, and his new project, Deltarune, has a lot of similarities to Undertale. So I'm honestly looking forward to seeing how that goes.
And I also read that he kind of wishes that it didn't take off as much as it did.
Really?
I guess there was a lot of pressure, just people expecting him to come out with something else. Also, I read about just people being mean to other people about the way that they would play the game and stuff like that. Like there's a snooty, different right way to play this game. And if you saw someone playing it online or something like that differently, that a lot of people would be very judgmental with you and stuff like that. And that's not what he wanted for the game at all.
Yeah. Some of that might be with the attachment to some of the characters. I know if you get really into the game, maybe you just don't want to see the characters hurt. I don't know.
But I don't like the idea of just saying, oh, well, this is the way that I think you should play the game, and if you're not playing it the way I would play it, I'm going to leave a bunch of mean comments on your video or your stream. Like, no, there's more than one way to beat a game, usually. So.
True. Yeah, it's interesting, though.
Yeah, let's just be kind, people. Let's be kind out there. So are you ready to talk about the challenge? Are you curious if I was able to sell an item?
Yeah, or did you manage to sell an item, Nikki?
So at first, I really thought you gave me a trick challenge. Because the first store I got to, it gives you the option to sell an item, but then it was like, no, you can't sell an item at this one. You have to wait, or I don't know. I forgot what it said, but it was like, oh, it had the option, but I couldn't actually sell anything. And I was like,
Yeah, he says something like akin to like, if I bought everyone's junk who came through here, I would be out of business.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, funny. My stuff's not junk. But anyway, I was like, oh my gosh, is it going to be like this every time? Every store I stop at is going to have this sell option, and then it's going to be like, nope, I don't want your stuff. I don't want your butterscotch pie.
Yeah, pretty much every store is like that. There's one store that's not like that, and that's a secret store, the Secret Temmie store, which you did manage to find.
Yeah, and I sold some dog residue. And I sold some monster candy.
Yeah.
Sold those 2 things.
But you can easily miss that section, which is why, that's the challenge. So you can only sell stuff at that one store. So if you miss that store or you didn't know to look for it, you can easily go through the whole game without being able to sell anything.
Got it. So you're banking on me not being diligent and going through all the map. And you thought I would just skip on over that?
I thought there was a pretty good chance. I mean, if you hadn't gotten lost in that area, you might have skipped over it.
Man, where's the faith? Well, I'm glad that I figured it out and it wasn't a trick challenge. Although, if I wouldn't have found that store, I probably would have be accusing you of a trick challenge right now.
Yeah.
I'd have to go look it up.
Yeah, you could have just looked
like,
it up,
can you really sell an item in Undertale?
Yeah.
Or, is my husband trying to trick me? Are you ready to know what the next episode's game is going to be?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
So I'm going to give you some hints because I like having you guess a little bit.
Okay.
So, first hint. This is a game that we play together sometimes. Okay?
Fall Guys.
Oh my gosh, really? Okay, we play a lot of games together, so how did you know that I was going to pick that?
Well, we'd already done Mario 35. There's Tetris 99, but we hadn't done that one in a while. It's also actually honestly been a minute for Fall Guys too. But, it's a good game. It's fun.
It is so fun, and it's so silly, and I kind of wanted to stay on our little trend of, like, funny games. Because although Fall Guys doesn't have a lot of dialogue, the physics are just hilarious. So, I thought it'd be fun. And plus, I kind of want to know, like, about the game, and, like, how it was made and stuff. So, part is my own curiosity. And the challenge, I'm not going to lie, the challenge is going to be hard, Eric.
Uh-oh.
Because I really do. I want everyone listening to hear your amazing rap skills. Your studio recorded rap skills.
As long as the challenge isn't impossible.
It's not. Your challenge is to win 2 crowns.
Wow, that's really hard.
Like, for real, win them, not just earn them through the point thing, where you win, and then you earn a crown that way. You have to win 2 crowns by actually playing the game.
Considering I think I've only ever won 2 crowns in the entire time I've been playing it, that's a pretty tall order.
Hey, it's my week, and it's my challenge. That's my evil laugh.
All right.
I don't think that you're going to do it, and then maybe everyone can hear your awesome rap skills.
I'll just keep this in mind for next time I'm giving you a challenge.
Oh, no. Hey, I don't think it's over the top challenging. I could have given you like 5 crowns, and then I know for sure you would not get it. I think you can do 2. I actually have faith that you could win 2 crowns.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. Next time. If you enjoyed our podcast, give us a like on Instagram or Facebook. Our Instagram is pressanybutton_podcast. And on Facebook, we're Press Any Button, a video game podcast. Also, give us a review or a like on Apple Podcasts and tell a friend. Thanks.